BBC, inspiring Uganda.
The governments of Djibouti, Ethiopia, South Sudan and Uganda have formally agreed to establish the Djibouti-Ethiopia South Sudan-Uganda Corridor Authority with an aim to modernize trade, expand infrastructure and provide landlocked Ethiopia, South Sudan and Uganda with streamlined access to the port of Djibouti. The government of Uganda, led by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, was represented by the Minister of Works and Transport, General Katumba Wamala. The minister first visited the chairman of Djibouti Ports Authority, Abubakar Umar Had, at his office where he was welcomed with pleasantries.
'Djibouti boasts of unique geographical conditions. Nested in the Horn of East Africa, the junction of Asia, Djibouti is committed to creating a trade and industrial service platform that drives the development of Africa. City refers to the Red Sea world, a total area of about 840,000 square meters.
15th February 2026 was the day of the official signing of the Dessu Corridor Authority Agreement at Djibouti Paris Kempinski Hotel. The agreement was signed by the transport ministers from the member countries of Ethiopia, Djibouti, South Sudan and Uganda. This signing is considered a major leap forward for regional integration in the Horn of Africa, positioning the corridor as a competitive hub for the global trade.
For your presence today, we confirm I share determination to more beyond dialogue and to implementations. We are gathered for the signing of the agreement establishing Djibouti, Ethiopia, South Sudan, Uganda corridor this week.
Speaking at the signing ceremony, Honorable Hassan Hamed Ibrahim, the Minister of Infrastructure and Equipment, Djibouti, said, "This agreement moves us from aspiration to implementation. For Ethiopia and our neighbors, it is about reducing the cost of doing business and building systems that make regional trade predictable, digital and sustainable."
Vive la coopération régionale, vive l'intégration africaine, vive la République de Djibouti. Je vous remercie.
The project involves joint investments in road, rail and digital infrastructure. This corridor serves as a critical alternative route for South Sudan and Uganda, diversifying their access to international maritime markets beyond existing corridors like the Northern Corridor through Kenya.
The government of the Republic of South Sudan will continue to invest in quality and reliable infrastructure. That is key for boosting productivity, enhancing productivity, and long-term sustainable transport and infrastructure development.
By establishing a unified regulatory framework, the member states intend to lower transit costs, reduce trade barriers, and boost regional investments.
We are committed to ensuring that no country in our region remains isolated from global trade networks. Our active participation in Dessu Corridor Authority reflects this commitment and our belief in the power of regional integration to unlock opportunities.
General Katumba Wamala thanked the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and the Chief Coordinator of Operation Wealth Creation, General Caleb Akandwanaho Salim Saleh, for the vision of creating this corridor.
I bring you great greetings from the Republic of Uganda, and most especially from the newly elected President, His Excellency, retired General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. I also bring you greetings from the visionary who was among who started the Dessu project, General Caleb Akandwanaho, a very good friend of the director of ports.
So this is why today we feel the importance of this moment of the signature, and we are fully joining you. And this is why the European Union has provided its financial support for an amount of 32 million euros. But this is not the most important. I think the most important is that we have listened at your aspiration and at your intention, and this amount is put in critical steps for the economic integration.
The Dessu Treaty is a treaty which has been made between 4 countries: Djibouti, Ethiopia, South Sudan, and Uganda. The intention is to open a trade route from the interior of Africa, especially Uganda, through South Sudan, through Ethiopia, to Djibouti, which prides itself in having one of the best ports on the continent. So we think this is one way in which we are opening up the continent, not only for trade, but also for other cooperation among our countries. Yeah, of course it will promote trade. Now when you look at, I'll take a country like Djibouti. Djibouti practically imports everything. Talk of any food item, Djibouti imports. Uganda at the other end of the route produces everything. So in a way, we shall have opened a very good link for us, for our products from the interior into the export market, not only of Djibouti, but also to the world. You know, Djibouti commands an open route to Europe and also to the Eastern world. The director of Djibouti Port Authority has been at the forefront of ensuring that this corridor is improved. The beauty of this one, in supporting this corridor, already we have a road connecting to Muchwini in Kitgum, which is on the border of the South Sudan, and this route is supposed to go through Kapoita, and so it's just on the way to Kapoita. So it will be now improving the other side of Sudan from Muchwini. So we are working on the roads, definitely. And as you know, the priority is to work on those roads which connect Uganda to the border areas.
Gulu is at the center of four roads. You can go to Karamoja, you can go to Kitgum, and once you go to Karamoja, then you go to Kenya. Once you go to Kitgum, you go to South Sudan. Then there is this one going to Juba, then this one going to Congo. It's a junction. Like this one going to Kitgum, it goes to Ethiopia, it goes to Djibouti. So you can easily connect from the Red Sea to Gulu to Kampala.
And General Saleh is one of the vision bearers of this corridor. You know, for him, trade is, is something he sleeps and thinks of every day. So he was among those who advocated for the corridor to be opened. And so he was happy to see that we have reached this far in the process of making sure that the corridor becomes functional.
My name is Evangelist Major Herbert Ndiwarana. I work as the personal assistant to General Kariba Kandwana Salim Saleh, Chief Coordinator of Operation Wealth Creation, and is the Senior Advisor on Defense. I met with the Chairman of Free Zone of Authority here in Djibouti through one of the businessmen who is now an attaché here. Mr. Rwanga is one of the entrepreneurs, a self-made person, that's I need to say. So I met the chairman of Djibouti Port Free Authority sometime back in 2024, who happened to visit Uganda on my invitation after General Saleh accepting to bring him to Uganda. So this chairman, when he visited Uganda, the first meeting we had is to see General Katumba Amala, who is the Minister of Transport, and because I saw where this man rises from, he's the chairman of the port, which you know very well that is one of the biggest ports in our region. They deal with the containers, they deal with many things, the big vessels. So after meeting General Katumba, we went and met Madame Kadaga for purposes of the regional integration. So we discussed a lot. Then later on, I contacted my boss, General Salim Saleh, that we have a potential person here who visited us and would like to come and share some of the ideas. So on the tour to Gulu, by then we were still in Polongo, they visited our hub in Gulu. The man looked at that logistic hub in Gulu and he liked the facility. Then he said, you guys, do you know that we are sister companies, the countries? So when he mentioned about that, it touched my boss. Then General said, if this man has seen value in our railway line, which is in Gulu, and that logistic hub, why don't we interest them to see that we start establishing the corridor? Not knowing that the man was interested too much about our connectivity of merging these two countries, these four countries, that is Uganda, South Sudan, Ethiopia, and Djibouti. So we looked at it that from Gulu, where the logistic hub is, if we establish to enlarge it and to work on that terrain, having connectivity from Uganda to South Sudan, Ethiopia to Djibouti. So that means that we are now ready on the sea, which is the Red Sea, because here what you see around is the Red Sea. So we had a meeting in Gulu. After that meeting, we came back thinking about it. Later on, they invited me to Djibouti. I came with Mr. Rwanga and the State Minister for Works and some other two people from Ministry of Works, that Mr. Nelson, and we visited Djibouti. So we had the first meeting here, which went well, and we realized that people are interested. So we found out that also people in Ethiopia and Djibouti, they were also looking at the same thing. But to take you back, when we were in the discussion in Gulu, General Saleh mentioned about this thing that sometime back in 2000 there, 2000 something there, Uganda tried to work out a mechanism on seeing how they sign up an agreement concerning about the same joint of having a corridor. So digging into, he's a man of history. He's the only man with all data required in this country. He found out a document showing that really they wanted to do a corridor, but it stopped somewhere we didn't know. So he said, but go ahead, follow up with these people. So we came to Djibouti. Djibouti, we had the first meeting. It went well. Then later on, as we went on, we had another in Ethiopia, still negotiating on the way forward on how we can look for funds, what is required, the technical team. So we formed a technical committee which included people from Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Works, URA, and the Finance, including revenue. So when we came the second time to Addis, they chose me to be the chief coordinator because we are the people that came up with that idea. So it was nice. I could not refuse. I've never refused a task in my life because I know I'm an executor. I love my country and I love working and I love networking. So when they chose me to be the chief coordinator of the Dessu, by then it was not called Dessu, because if I take you back, we had a meeting here in Djibouti where the four countries met, and Ethiopia, they wanted to call it Horns of Africa. Horns of Africa, you know, Djibouti and Ethiopia, they are almost sisters. It's like the way you see Uganda, Chisoro and Rwanda, almost. So it brought a lot of confusion in the meeting. Djibouti saying, no, not Horns of Africa. Ethiopia said we want it to be Horns of Africa. So that meeting almost erupted, and when we went out, I called upon the minister, His Excellency, the Minister of Works for Ethiopia. Asked him that, Your Excellency, it's very bad for people to go back without having a meeting. What's the deal behind Dessu? So that's when I realized that there's an attachment between their country as culture. For example, in Uganda, we say some words which are deep and they mean an attachment to someone. So in that conversation, I asked him that, do you mind if I call other ministers and we have a simple chat? So we're out at the chairman's office. Chairman told me, but you're free to use this office. So he gave me his office. The chairman of the Djibouti, Mr. Hadi Agi, he gave me his office. And the ministers, because they are the one who chose me to be the chief coordinator, they accepted. So in that talk, I just picked a pen and I said, when I look at these people, Ethiopians have an attachment on the word Dessu. And now Djibouti, where the port is, also they don't want it to say that it's as if the others would take a show. Then I said, we have 4 countries here. I wrote down those abbreviations. I wrote D-E-S-S-U. And I said, why don't we use these abbreviations of our countries? So these others who are against Dessu, they said against the Horns of Africa. They said, no, let's go ahead with Dessu. So that's how we came up to form a name, Dessu. Dessu represents Djibouti, Ethiopia, South Sudan, and Uganda. So we went into a meeting again. After that, that's when we continued with our committee in Addis, the second route. So in Addis, we discussed about on how funds are going to be secured, because that's a very big project, and it's not a project that will start today and get finished tomorrow, because all the way from Uganda, Guru, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Djibouti, it's not a small project. So along the way, it took us about some 8 months. We formed another meeting here in Djibouti. So when we came, we talked about the technical committee, how they are going to operate into this operation. And we talked about also about what is required into this project, because there are so many things which I'm not going to explain, but the most important thing that with such a project, it requires a lot of money. It requires a lot of commitment. There are so many roles which are required. Who takes what? As we continue with this project, there are lots of things that some offices which are required, but also countries think about them. For example, their positions of chairman, who to take the chairmanship first. After all that, we agreed that we give ourselves 4 months to come back and sign the agreement. Okay, the significance of this D-Day is a milestone where the newly established Dessu project lays a good foundation for enhancing regional integration, increase of flow of trade, in security in the region. Because if we have that road all the way from Uganda, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Djibouti, there are so many things that we can work on together as sister countries. And at the same time, the most important thing is trade. Look at things here. You see this port. Most of the big boys are here. Americans are here. Japans are here. Chinese are here. They have mounted their machines on this. So His Excellency, the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, did a great job when he embraced this signing by giving permission to our Minister, General Katumba Amala, that go ahead and sign that agreement. And also we thank God for the patience our President has. Because if this thing has been there for some good time, and many other people tried it, I don't know, it's never worked out. But in his mind, when it came to him, he remembered that he has ever heard about such. So just the dream was resurrected, and now the dream has come true by saying that this signature is signed, this agreement is signed.
We came with the chairman of Djibouti Port and the Free Zone Authority in Uganda 2023, July, and General Salim is hosting us. And really, for this occasion, I want to thank the General Salim for the great support for this corridor to realize. And the second, I need to thank the Major Herbert, who is the coordinator since we started the negotiations for these corridors. When we came with the Djibouti delegation in Uganda, General Herbert is guiding us and supporting us to realize this kind of the great and the corridor, which is not only is not only facilitate the movement of the goods, but the peoples, and which will be play the good role for the boost the economic of these regions. We are receiving General Khan and the Minister of the Work and the Transport of the Uganda here in Djibouti, and with his teams. And really, he show and during his speech show us his commitment of the government of Uganda and the people of the Uganda for supporting these corridors. And really, I thank his General and Karduma and the Minister of the Work and the Transport for his great support to realize for the signing in this great corridor. Without the presence of the Uganda and the General and Katuma, Minister of the Transport and Minister of the Work and the Transport, really it was very difficult to realize such kind of the corridor which facilitate the movement of the people. And in the future we hope all the regions and the Horn of Africa and as well as the East of African benefit these corridors. And even we thank us again also the Major Herbert and who is the judge for the coordinations for this great corridor and the success of the corridors. Really, we expect a lot of the thing from Uganda, because the Uganda is not end of this corridor, but it will be the beginning. It will be the beginning of the corridor to connect the great the regions, including Congo and Rwanda and the other regions in this country.
Uganda is now a hub in this region, and you see Uganda also will benefit much in this Dessu project, because we have been having two ports, that is Mombasa and Dar es Salaam, and now we are bringing Djibouti port on board. So Uganda being a hub, Uganda has been selling a lot of things to Congo, South Sudan, and the other regions. Now, Uganda will benefit from this Dessu after knowing that there have been two competitors in the ports. So we shall get the other third competitor, which is Djibouti. So when we are bargaining on how we can do business using these ports, Uganda will benefit, because it will be like a beautiful wife being fought for three men. In 2022, we came here as risk takers, a business community from Uganda. Then after we became Uganda Business Forum Association. Our role was, when we came, by that time we came by flight Dubai, and it was very far. Then next we came by Ethiopian Airlines. But then, when we found here that there is an international free trade zone, we said this is an opportunity to use this international free trade zone. And also knowing that we had Dubai and had started to bring in the pride of visas, complicating the process of getting visa. So when we came here, we discussed a lot with Chamber of Commerce, Djibouti Ports and Free Zones Authority, and then we told them that we want to do business with you, but also we have to trust it. When we went back to Uganda, I told the business committee I came with that this thing is very big on our side, so we have to involve in the government. But at that time, we don't know which side we should take to get the government on board. So I got Major Ndiwarana, and I told him that I ever seen you as General Sale, and I know General Sale is a mover. So I said, can you explain about this issue to General Sale and see whether he can help us to join us, the business committee and the government? Then he said, okay. Then they invited us to Kapeka, and we explained everything. Then General Sale also, I think he got the business aspect in this. So he also asked me to see whether we can bring the government of Djibouti on board. So during that time, we brought the chairman, Djibouti Ports and Free Zone Authority, His Excellency Omar Abubakar Hadi, and the Ambassador Hassan Robre Mahamoud. They visited Uganda. Then we took them to Guru, Porongo by that time. They discussed with General Sale, and they said there is an impact in this. So from there, General Sale told me that now I have handed you over to Major Ndiwarana to be briefing me, to be the gap linker, I think. That's the best word. So, the coordinator, yeah, surely. So, he started to coordinate, and since those years they have been coming here. They brought Ministry of Works on board, Foreign Affairs, URA, Attorney General's Office to coordinate these things. So, after we got now the fruit of signing the Dessu agreement here in Djibouti at Campus Hotel, Uganda is getting an alternative route from Europe, Asia to Uganda. Then also South Sudan had a problem of like 270 kilometers through Kapweta border. So if that one is made, that is a development for Sudan. Now Ethiopia is going to benefit also. When we drive from there, we shall take their fuel, using our vehicles, we shall stay in their hotels, we shall eat their food and other things. Then Uganda being the last end of the region, being a hub, so Uganda can even create a free zone in Guru area or in northern part, so that we link up with Central Africa, Congo, Sudan, and Burundi, Rwanda, like that. So Uganda will benefit very much in this. Today we have also visited the training wing of the Djibouti, the wing that trains the young people how to drive the forklifts, heavy trucks and whatever. I think you have seen it is very significant. So the Ugandans, young people will come here, study that, then they will also get opportunity to go in other countries to use the skills which are learned from here. So the Cheyo is going to expand.
After the signing, the Uganda Minister of Works and Transport, General Katumba Wamala, visited the Djibouti Resource and Skills Center.
At the first, congratulate the ministers who came for this ceremony, and for the transport ministers who signed, and Minister of Uganda. We really, as a business people, we are waiting this opportunity. What we said is now it's time for the private sector to implement what it signed. And we want that it goes very quickly to be linked to corridor Djibouti to Kampala. We said that we have got a center financed by the European Union with the partnership as a PPP in Djibouti. The Chamber of Commerce is playing a role on that PPP relation. We are with the Minister of Vocational Training, and as a business people, we said that it will be a good opportunity for logistic activities to put in place a new vocational center that we could share how to improve the logistic and transport activities. The chance that we have got in Djibouti is we are linked with the dollar, US dollar, since 1949. And one US dollar is 177.5, almost from that 1949 until today. It will be a good opportunity to put in place a strategical partnership with Uganda business people and Djibouti business people to order together, for example, some goods that only Djibouti can order or Uganda can order from abroad. It means when we merge our forces together, it might be a good opportunity for each and everybody.
We did sign a corridor, a transport corridor between Djibouti, Ethiopia, South Sudan and Uganda. The corridor would be meaningless, or even the infrastructure would be meaningless if there is no trade. It is not just for the beauty of having a nice road and nice railway, but those facilities, those infrastructure is expected to promote trade among our nations. So we need to look at what is Djibouti offering. Djibouti is offering an opportunity for our business community to take advantage of the developments here. I saw something like the free trade zone, which would be a very big advantage if Ugandans would take advantage of that, especially the Uganda business community, to be able to use this facility, marshal their goods here in the free trade zone, and be able to move to them down south to Kampala. Because from experience, it takes 4 days to move from here by road to Kampala, which would be even, less than what possibly the number of days we take on other routes. We want to thank General Saleh, who was, I think, one of the vision bearers of this corridor. I think they say business people smell where money is. And so I think he saw that this was an opportunity for people who are interested in business to make money and be able to improve not only their income, but also the incomes of their countries. So I want to thank our host, the head of the Chamber of Commerce, and I want to just tell our people back home, the private sector, that this is now an opening. The private sector should actually take the lead in pushing us to ensure that the corridor becomes functional within the shortest possible time. So it will be the energies and the efforts of the private sector to lead the way, because the will is there to get the corridor function, but we need the private sector working with the Chamber of Commerce of Djibouti and the private sector of Djibouti to ensure that this becomes so reality.
The Dessu corridor establishes a continuous logistics chain connecting port of Djibouti, Ethiopia, South Sudan and Uganda via Nimule border to Gulu and Kampala city.